father was William Carl Boyack, and my mother was Elsie Bertha Otilla Cullet Boyack. We had a nice family. There was 8 of us, 8 children. It was a household. We attended church every Sunday. When I was born, the church wasn't there. They tore down the old wooden church and they were building the new stone church. So I was baptized at home here in the house. I was the only one in the family that wasn't baptized in the church. I was confirmed in 1941. We always had confirmation on Pentecost. I never knew my Grandpa Boyack. He died the year before I was born. But I knew Grandma real well. She took care of me when I was little. I can remember that when I was only probably 2, 3 years old, sitting on her lap and she'd read the stories. But she could only talk German, so I could only talk German until I was probably 5, 6 years old. My other grandparents, they could speak both English and German, the Cullet side. My father was kind of a quiet man. He didn't say too much. His actions, I guess, spoke for him. He was a very hard worker. He didn't slack off on anything. He worked from daylight to dark all the time. And my mother, she cooked all the meals and sewed all the clothes and did the washing. She would talk to us kids more than my dad did. My dad wouldn't talk to us much. And he was so busy working that he didn't take the time to talk much with anybody or discuss their schoolwork or anything. I do have one memory of him that it really stands out and I can remember. We went to town one day and I bought a baseball glove, a softball glove. I paid $0.25 for it. It was a black one, wasn't real big, but my dad said I could buy that. And we came home, and I don't remember, a day or 2 later, he played catch with me out in the front yard. And he threw that softball to me, and he threw hard. And I caught him. I caught every one of them, I think. That's about the only time that I can remember that he ever played with us kids. He was too busy. But that was on a Sunday afternoon that he threw some balls to me. Well, I think I'm quite a bit like him. At least when I was younger, I was a hard worker. I'm not anymore. I done a lot of work when I was young, and it was hard work back in those days too. It was all hand labor. And so I think I was somewhat like him in that way. Also, he was a good Christian man. He didn't back off on the church giving when things got rough. He always gave to the church and other charities, and I think that's why he done so well, because anytime you give to the church or other charity, you get more than that back somehow. I don't know how it happens, but it does. And I think I've followed along that line too. I'm thankful for the family that we had. It was a wonderful family. Even the family I have today is a wonderful family. You hear so much about people on television that have all kinds of problems, and we didn't have that. And we don't have it in our family here now. I'm very thankful that we had a family like that could live together without fighting and arguing and everything like that. We had a nice family that got along good with one another. That's one of the things I'm thankful for.
Margaret Claire Thurn Boyack. It was my grandfather's mother's name. Her name was Margaret. And I was born August 10th, 1934, in York Township at our home. My mother's name was Bernice Day Thurn. My father's name was Byron Leroy Thurn. We lived on a farm, and we didn't have any electric or running water until I was in about the 7th or 8th grade. And so we had coal lamps and We had to pump our water from well, and then we had also a cistern that had a pump on. You carried the water in the house and heated it for bathing and dishes and stuff. No bathroom, outhouse. So we had some chickens, and so we had eggs, and we always had a lot of meat because we did our own butchering. And chicken, beef, butchered pigs, and sausage. So we always ate really good, and I guess we probably were kind of poor because it was right after the Depression, but as a child I didn't know that we were, we had everything we needed, so we slept upstairs, and in the wintertime there wasn't any heat, so I remember covers were really heavy on you because they'd pile on a lot of covers. We had these, they call soapstones. They put them in the oven and get them warm, and then they put them in the bottom of our bed to keep our feet warm when we went to bed in the wintertime. We had a radio, but they only played that very seldom because it was with these crystals and batteries and stuff because we didn't have electric. And my mother and father would turn it on like once a day for the news. My mother's father and mother only lived a couple miles away, but we didn't go there very often. But I remember when we did, my grandfather would always be washing these glass milk bottles because they had a dairy and filled the bottles and then took them uptown delivered them to the people, and they set them on the porch. And my mother did that even as a child, helped deliver milk. We all had all the childhood diseases. We had the regular measles, and then we had the hard German measles, and then we had chicken pox, and we had scarlet fever, and whooping cough, and mumps. We had all of us had all that. I remember us getting mad. My dad was always a jokester, and so when we had the scarlet fever, he'd come and they used to go around and hang this thing on people's doors saying they were quarantined. And so he'd come and hung this sign on the end of our bed that we were quarantined. We always had a birthday cake. We had one special plate. I've got that plate that was up on a stem, and we put the birthday cake on that plate. We didn't really go to church because Mom didn't feel we had nice enough clothes to go to church. And so then when my Uncle Fritz got married, we got clothes to wear to his wedding. And then the next Sunday was going to be Children's Day, and so it was in June. And so we went to Sunday school with our new wedding clothes. And then Mom took us to Sunday school after that all the time. I think that my dad probably taught us to have a sense of humor and to enjoy your life, and Mom probably taught us that there were times to be serious, and that your faith and religion was an important part of your life, and she always, I never heard my mother say anything bad about anybody. The one thing that, if I have a troubled time, I go back and repeat the words of that song. It's "What a Friend We Have in Jesus, that all our sins and griefs to bear," And so I'll just read that sometimes. And I haven't had to read it a whole lot of times. I've been very fortunate.
Some enchanted evening.
I was friends with Janet first, and her dad, my dad, played dartball, so Janet and I was good friends because we always went to watch them play dartball.
When we actually really met, college reunion was at Meadowbrook Park. Well, I didn't go to the reunion. I had a softball game, but we were playing at Meadowbrook Park. And Mom went with my sister Janet. We were playing softball. These two girls came up there with boxes of popcorn, and she offered me some popcorn. And she's been feeding me ever since. The first date we really went on, we went to the Green Springs Carnival.
I had them guess my age. And at the time I was still 13. I was almost 14, but they guessed I was 17.
What I remember about this Green Springs Carnival, it's the first time they had one of these dump tanks. I hit him 2 out of 3.
He was trying to impress that little girl.
It was on July the 13th of 1951. I had bought the ring, and she was at a 4-H meeting, and I had to go to the 4-H meeting to pick her up. When she came out of the house to get in my car, I told her I had something for her. And I showed it to her, and she took her running in the house to show everybody.
Never let her go.
They try to tell us we're too young.
We went west. I had it all mapped out. We were gone 22 days.
Well, we went to all the different national parks all along the way.
We did Badlands and the Yellowstone and Rocky Mountain National Park,
Glacier National Park.
Yosemite and Zion National Park, Bryce Canyon, Painted Desert. Went to Hoover Dam and Grand Coulee Dam. And we were on the North Rim. And we wanted to be there at sunset. So we got the cabin first. And it was kind of a cold day, and so I started a fire. There was some paper and some of the wood, and I had a pretty good fire going when we left. But we stayed out there until it was almost dark. And when we came back, the fire went out, and we didn't have any more paper. So I rolled the toilet paper up and put it in the stove and tried to get a fire going, but I never did get it going, and it got cold that night. We had enough covers that we kept warm, I guess.
We were not too young at all.
I'm in love with you. I could be so true to someone like you.
We bought a registered border collie. We called him Sparky because the box that he came in was Sparkle Powell's box. That was a nice dog.
That we got for our first Christmas.
She lived to be 18 years old.
Do what you wanna do. Take me in your arms, please do. Let me cling to you.
Take good care of my baby. Please don't ever make her blue. Just tell her that you love her. Make sure you're thinking of her in everything you say and do.
We always wanted a family.
We thought about it a lot. We didn't know how many. We didn't set any limits. We just took them as they come.
You ever make
school stuff. And I was very fortunate that I could be a stay-at-home mom.
I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be.
south to the land of the pines. I'm thumbing my way into North Carolina, staring up the road and pray to God I see headlights. I made it down the coast in 17 hours, picking me a bouquet of dogwood flowers, and I'm hoping for Raleigh I can see my baby tonight. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Oh, rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, hey, mama, rock me. Oh, so rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, I wanna feel. Hey, hey, mama, rock me, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, yeah, yeah, mama, you can rock me, rock me. L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore can love. Is all that I can give to you. Love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can't make it. Take my heart, but please don't break it. Love was made for me and
If
you.
you take your time and make sure you got the right person, it'll last. That's my advice to young people today, I think.
And to cherish each other, be respectful to each other, work together, and discuss things all along so that little problems don't become big problems.
L is for the way you look at me. Oh, it's for the only one.
Then we both believe that when you worship together, it makes a lot of difference in your life and the way your children act and the morals that they take with them from their home.
Anyone that you adore can love. It's all that I can give to you. Love, love, love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can't make it. Take my heart, but please don't break it, 'cause love was made for me and you. I said love was made for me and you. You know that love was made for me and